Hello guys, this is Deirdre, welcome back to my channel. Today I am reviewing Arachnids in the UK. Now this episode kind of had me disappointed. Now last week was really good and it kind of made me oh, more excited for this episode because last week was so much better, and the quality rose. Um, with Rosa, and this week the quality went back down again, and I just feel like this episode meant nothing. It didn't have anything really that was particularly entertaining. Now, I'll talk about the good stuff, I suppose. So the spiders were really good. They actually had like hair and animations, and they were shadows. They were designed really well, and I appreciate that they did that. I also appreciate, this is kind of weird, but I noticed in the background Ryan making shadow puppets, and I thought that that was a nice little detail. I suppose it's not really the best, but it was a nice little detail. I thought it was quite cool to add that in, because if you didn't notice it the first time, then you may notice it another time, and that'd be quite cool. The Actually, we'll talk about the character, the not Donald Trump of the episode. Wow, I've never seen so much unsubtlety. It is just incredible. Um, so as soon as the episode started, he was basically going around firing people and saying that he was a big businessman, and this made me think, oh great, if he gets compared to Donald Trump some point of this episode, you know, it's just completely unoriginal at this point and it's extremely annoying. That is actually also really annoying as well. Do you know what? I'm just going to hold it this week. How unprofessional. But the fact that he got compared to Donald Trump, blew all that subtlety out the wind, and they started talking about Russians. Oh god, it's gone political again. Why would you do that? It just doesn't make any sense, and it kind of ruined. Like he's one of those characters, because we've had two characters that were both this sort of man that basically gets talked down to the entire time, and every time he gets talked down to, they make him just the butt of jokes. And what are we supposed to do to this character? Are we supposed to like him, hate him? But he goes nowhere. Him shooting the spider was treated so quickly. It was kind of pointless, really. What else should we talk about for this episode? Because all I can really think of is actual negatives. Any positives, I'm actually struggling to come up with anything. I'm just trying to work out which one is the best angle now that the holding method is making my arm ache. Now, what else is there to talk about? Spiders. We finally get to see Yaz's family. I think this is probably the other, or the last best thing about this episode. We finally get to see Yaz's family, and Yaz actually gets some story to her, but she doesn't really, does she? Nothing's happening with her, to be honest. We just meet a family for once. You really need to try and develop this character, guys. Otherwise, this series for her is going to be really boring. I really hope that she does go somewhere at some point, because I really thought this week would have been her episode when they actually made her shine, but the only thing they did was just incorporate her family. Incorporating someone's family into the show does not make the character have development. It doesn't change anything. They're just still pretty boring at this point. I think Yaz has actually got quite boring now. To begin with, you would understand, she didn't have any development or anything, but they've slowly not given her anything. But Right, more time has gone to this stupid relationship between Yaz and Ryan that isn't going to happen. That's been building up for a few episodes. but it's not going anywhere, and I think that's pretty disappointing. Well, I'm not saying it's disappointing that the relationship isn't going anywhere. It's disappointing that they're spending more time on this stupid relationship than they are on the character of Yaz. Ryan and Graham are still getting screen time for something that I thought they finished. I thought they got their closure in episode 2, but no, they're back at it again, trying to continue the Grace thing. And now, for them, this time is pretty short. For us, we don't want it as in your face at this point. I'd prefer it if they just kept it at a minimum, because it's been 4 weeks, a month nearly, since the first episode in which that character died, and we have basically lost interest in that character now, and we would actually like to move on to stories involving monsters. Now, last week we didn't have any monsters, and I'm kind of disappointed about that, but this week we got spiders, and I was like, yes, spiders from space. Sort of spiders from space, more like spiders from, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle spiders is kind of what we got. Or Teenage Mutant Ninja Spiders is basically what we got. Toxic waste and some science stuff made these spiders bad and changed their way that they do things, all because the Donald Trump character didn't cut corners, but he didn't cut corners because he signed stuff off on everyone. So what's the point of him being there? Unless he lied, of course, just slightly. What else is there to talk about? Let me think. I'm talking about this toxic waste thing, wasn't I? So the toxic waste kind of goes nowhere because they don't do anything with it. I think that's probably the problem in the last line of this episode that I'm going to talk about, is the fact that nothing goes anywhere. It just feels like the episode just goes on, but doesn't lead to much of a conclusion. And actually, let's talk about that actual conclusion now. People didn't like the music last week, so imagine people's faces this week with this version. I wouldn't say it's a bad episode, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I would want to. To be honest, I had a lot higher expectations. Maybe watching it again, my expectations are now lowered. I might think it was better, but I feel like it's kind of a bit of a lost cause. Not lost cause. Let me think. It's kind of lost its purpose, and something. It feels like they went, "Do you know what would be a good idea? Spiders," but then didn't create anything to do with it. They just went, "Yeah, spiders. That'd be a good idea for an episode," but left it at that, and then started trying to write an episode involving spiders that didn't work. And I think that's probably what happened. So the toxic waste goes nowhere, and you're kind of sitting. There's always these kind of episodes you can kind of sit here and go, and you're sitting asking questions constantly, saying things like, "I don't actually understand how this is working." I don't know why that happened. So what, they've put all the spiders in there, now what, they're just going to sit there? It was an idea that sounded good at one point, and then may have developed into something pretty nasty. But like I say, it's probably not a bad episode. There are moments I enjoyed. I quite actually liked the silliness of it. But the bit when he comes out and shoots the spider, and it's treated in a really undramatic way. What I want maybe is, I thought that maybe the Doctor could go up, like you do actually see her go up, but she doesn't. Maybe if she comforted the thing or something like that, that would be a good end to the episode. Maybe if you made a bit more of a emotion that these spiders are the victims to capitalism and to the man, that he could change his moral compass and he should become a better person because of it. And then the doctor will, explain all of this, and would have a decent episode in which then that bloke changed his ways. But we don't see any of that because he walks up, shoots it, and then walks off like a true American. I don't see this episode going too well in America, to be honest. But I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest. This is an episode that's really got me confused and slightly... slightly confused. I have a look at the chat. There's somebody here saying that they loved this episode. It's a meme. It's a moth meme. Part of it's a moth meme. Oh god. I fell down the stairs and killed my pet moth. Thank you for your comment. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bit of a weird one. Maybe in a few days, after watching it a few more times, I might actually like it a lot better. But if I was to rate it, I don't normally rate these things, but I'd probably give it a 4 or a 5. Not perfect, but I somewhat enjoyed it. So thank you guys for watching. This has been DJC. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you give it a like. I shall see you soon. Goodbye.